45 was worth a lot to me.
I've got a
I carried that all during the war.
Did you?
You
Yeah,
carried a
when you had-
45?
When I had, yeah.
Could you carry it on the airplane?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, all the crew members had 45s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you had your own?
In case you were shot down, that was your defense.
You had to have some protection. Yeah, we all had them. Yep. It was a good gun. God, I was sick when I didn't get that.
Well, now,
I couldn't carry it on the train, you know. They didn't allow you to do that after you're being discharged.
Now, where were you discharged from?
In Indiana, Indianapolis, which is kind of crazy. I'm from Michigan, and they mustered me out in Indianapolis.
So you, and you were, where'd you fly out of? Where did you
Guam.
fly? Guam.
On
So
Guam.
you flew off Guam.
Yeah, I was on Guam, Yes, I was.
That's where Coon was too, wasn't it?
Who?
Guam. Coon.
Yeah, Coon spent
Yeah,
some
Coon
time.
was,
Yeah.
He spent some time on Guam.
Yes, he did.
Well, and you flew the 29.
Yeah. Weren't you asking me about the armament
Yeah.
on that yesterday?
Well, did they have heavy armor, the 29?
Well, I'm talking about
They
the
had a lot of
guns.
firepower.
Yeah, the firepower. I think I misquoted somebody. I was telling that.
I mean, we were talking about it last night.
See, to start out with that, on the tail gunner had a 20 millimeter and a pair of 50s. That was his armament, which is pretty good
Yeah.
in the tail, right? Then you had the top turret right above me and the lower turret below with two 50s on each one. And then forward, above the pilot's compartment, you had a pair of 50s and a pair of 50s below, and then two 50s in the nose. So see, we had a lot of power.
Well, now, could they fight off a fire attack?
Oh, yes.
Oh, the 29 could fight off a fire attack.
Yeah, we did it many times.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You didn't have
Well,
it-
see, everything, I tell you what, everything was electronically controlled. It was different on the B-17s and the B-24s. But a lot of that was handheld, see? Where all we had to do is keep the plane in the scope that was on our control there. As long as you had them in the scope, squeeze the trigger, you hit them. Because everything was electronic then. It wouldn't miss. Unbelievable.
So the fighters kind of stayed away
They
from
got to the point where they just stayed up above, they wouldn't even come in.
Well, did most of the bombers have fighter escorts?
We had
B-17s.
P-51s, P-51
Yeah.
Mustangs.
Yeah, and that, once those got there, that made
Boy,
a
that
big
was a
difference.
terrific fighter plane.
Yeah.
But if you've been doing research, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those P-51s were unbelievable. They had the Allison engine. And you know, before I went into service, we were working on those at Cadillac Motor Company.
Is that right?
I never dreamt when I was there that I'd be flying with one of those, or a pair of those motors. Allison airplane
I've
engine.
got a night jacket that belonged to a P-51 fighter pilot.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that was a terrific plane. Terrific.
We went down to Gatlinburg. They have Air Museum down there in Tennessee, and they had a P-51 in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It was neat.
Well, thank God for them, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They saved a lot of planes, a lot of B-29s.
Yeah, the Germans didn't.
See, I got over there late in the war, and the Japanese weren't coming up like they were earlier in the war. I was lucky that way, you know.
So what were y'all bombing? What was your?
Oh, Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
Oh, really?
Tokyo.
Oh, y'all went all the way to Tokyo.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Tokyo, I don't know how many people realize that, but it was completely burned out. Tokyo was burnt. Back in those days, see, they didn't have nice buildings like they got today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just went up like a torch. Most of everything we used was phosphorus bombs. You didn't need the big bombs for them. You just drop phosphorus bombs and they
Start a
burn
fire.
out.
Yeah. Got a fire started, that's all you need.
Yeah. Well, they burn out for square mile after square mile. And
So-
Hiroshima the same way.
So the where did they fly the atomic bomb out of? Where did it come from?
That came out of the neighboring island of Guam, actually. You had Guam and you had Tinian. Tinian was the island they came out of.
That's where they flew the
Yeah.
Enola Gay.
Enola Gay came out of Tinian, which was probably 30 miles from Guam, 30 or 40
Oh, is
miles.
that all?
Yeah,
so-
it was, there were 3 big islands that were pretty close together.
So where'd they drop the atomic bomb out of? What airplane?
The Enola Gay,
What was it?
B-29.
It was a 29.
Oh yeah, sure. You bet. Yep. B-29. See, we dropped leaflets over Hiroshima and those different islands warning them that there was going to be a big
Yeah.
bomb dropped.
Were y'all dropping, just go do leaflet drops?
I'm sorry?
Did you all go and just drop leaflets? Or did you put them with the bombs?
No, we just dropped the leaflets.
Just flew over and dropped
Yeah.
the leaflets?
Yeah, they had us go over there on 2 different occasions and drop tons of leaflets all over the city, warning them about the big bomb coming. We didn't even know what the big bomb was, really.
Oh, did they say the big
Oh,
bomb?
that was kept a secret. We didn't even know it. Can you believe that? And
Yeah.
it's part of our outfit. But they kept that a real secret. All we knew was the big bomb.
But there was a big bomb coming, and
Never realized it was anything like it was. Unbelievable. Well, at least we did the humane thing by warning them.
but do you think it did any good?
Didn't do any good, no. People didn't leave. There were thousands of people killed in Hiroshima.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say probably 60,000 at least. It is dreadful, really.
And about all that were there were seriously damaged health-wise for all their life.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, those that were burned so bad, they probably wish they had died. It was a horrible thing, but what are you going to do? They had to get the war over.
That
So
ended the
Truman
war.
says, hey, we're going to get it over right now.
It would have cost hundreds of thousands of men to go in there and invade Japan if they'd had to invade.
I give Truman credit for this. He had enough guts to do it, I don't know how many people would have done that, but he says, hey, drop it. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long, did
And
it?
it didn't take 2 bombs, did it?
Thank God. And boy, when it was over, hell broke loose there on Guam. I mean, we had to duck into our barracks because they were shooting 50s and everything to get a hold of all over the place. 20 millimeters.
Who
You
was
could hear them zinging all. Our men were doing it.
They were shooting the guns.
Celebrating, Yeah.
Shooting there which way?
Just went crazy. It was scary there for a while.
They after the bomb or after they heard the war was over?
Oh, after it said the war was over. Oh, they went nuts. They went out on the runways and got into B-29s and just opened fire with them, it just went nuts.
Got in
So
there.
what they did then, they took all the ammunition and stuff away from the soldiers. Took everything away from them. Before they started killing their own men.
Yeah.
But we had Japanese coming into the camps weeks after the war was over. They thought the war was still on, They had no way of knowing.
Yeah.
They were hiding out.
On Guam still?
Yeah. We had a lot of them on Guam. Hiding
While you
out.
all were,
While we were there, oh yeah. They were hiding out,
so they didn't all leave when you took Guam.
What
No.
island was it? It's like 30 years later. There was a Japanese soldier
Exactly.
came out.
No, they never knew it was over with after 30 years. You're exactly right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Can you believe how he must have felt?
I know. He was
Living in
afraid
the
to-
jungle for 30 years and
He
he could have been
was
home with his family.
Yeah, he was afraid they were going to kill him if he came out.
After the war was over, we had nothing to do there. So they had us guard prisoners, Jap prisoners, And I'll tell you, I enjoyed antagonizing them. I smoked back then, And I'd smoke a cigarette right down to almost the ashes, and I'd flip it at them, let them fight over it. And I want to see them burn their lips when they take a puff. How could you like them? They were animals. They're not like they are today. They were animals.
Oh yeah.
They
Well,
really
yeah,
were.
They had that mentality, fight to the death.
The old imperial, whatever,
Samurai.
what a guy he was.
Oh yeah.
He was something else.
Hiroshima?
Hiroshima, yeah.
What is that his name?
No,
Hirohito.
Hirohito. Hirohito,
Was he
yeah.
a good orator to get them all inflamed and?
Exactly, that's exactly what he did. He wanted them to fight to the death.
And they did most of the time. Very few of those.
He trained them that
islands,
way.
very few of them on these islands ever gave up. They fought,
No.
either committed suicide or they go in those big human wave charges.
If old Babe was still alive, he could tell you. He was
Oh,
over
yeah.
on Guadalcanal, and that was hand to hand. Boy,
it
those
was
guys
awful. Yeah,
fought. Oh, he went through a lot.
yeah, he did.
Babe went through a lot. Yeah. I felt lucky compared to what he had to go through, on the ground like that. I went to fly. I was in the infantry when I first went in, and I heard about these guys in the B-29. I said, man, that sounds pretty good. So I went to and took a test and passed. I went to flight school. I thought I was going to be a pilot, big shot. Ended up say, hey, we need 500 gunners. So the war shot 500 of us all at one time.
They just watched
500, and sent us all to gunner school.
Did it take long to learn to shoot that gun?
No.
You just pointed it and it took over.
Well, see, on the B-29s, you had but it was stationary control. All you did was turn the knob. See, there's a knob there that opened the scope up and back and forth. That's all you had, really.
Once you got,
Keep them in that light, see?
that's all you had to
Squeeze
do.
the trigger. That's all you had to do. That's all there was to it. It's all electronic. It's a shame they didn't have it earlier in the war, really.
Yeah.
We were the first ones to have that. A lot of people never realized that what we had there for gunnery system. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, but I'd always thought that the big airplanes, the bombers, always had escorts, fighter escorts.
They did. What we did too, even though we had that system. We still had fighter escort, B-51. Yeah.
But did you have radio contact with the pilot?
Oh yeah, sure.
It was just intercommunication.
Yeah, our pilot and the P-51 pilots always had direct contact, yeah. What I always hated though is that formation flying.
So
Well,
you
I
were
hated
flying
that.
there 100 feet away, there's another gunner just
Oh,
looking
not
you
even
right-
that far.
Gunner looking you right in the eye.
In combat position, you're closer than that. It's scary, I tell you. Especially when you have a lot of heavy clouds, You get into the clouds, you can't see anything. So if you don't keep right on your direct flight, however they want to call it,
Did you ever know of any of them colliding?
I never have, no. To be honest with you.
But they were able to stay that close.
We had some pretty good pilots, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
But it was scary though when you got into that.
Could you
I
see,
hated that.
could you see to the side to see the man in the airplane, the gunner in the airplane beside you?
No,
You couldn't see him.
no.
What was your vision?
Well, you were just busy watching out for.
I know, but what was your vision range when you were looking? You were looking frontwards, backwards, sideways?
Well, I had a pretty good view there, really, from my position. See, they had this big plexiglass, they call them blister, and I was sitting in one of those. You can look in about 180 degree